Oh, you're not signed on yet?
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Sun Prairie Real Estate Show. I'm your host, Bill Baker, and we are live at the Sun Prairie Media Center right here next to the library on beautiful Linwood Drive. I tell you,
You got the L part right.
I know, got the wrong mic on too. You know, you think I'd know how to do this after a while, but I guess you don't. Hey, you're listening to 103.5 WLSP, The Sun. As I said, right here in beautiful Sun Prairie, home of Station of the Year, or the, as brought to you by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association. That year's coming up, man. We got about 5 months left, and, then we got to try and win it again for the second time. We're underwritten by those wonderful folks at the Bank of Sun Prairie, the Baker Realty Group, and, of course, Wintrust Mortgage. Glad to be here. It's a snowy day outside. I just got back from Kentucky. I will tell you that Kentucky has the same housing issues that we have here, low inventory, naturally, and so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. We do have a warning for you today, and let me move her camera. There we go. Hopefully that
Sound effects.
Sound effects always work. Got to do that. We do have a warning for you that we're going to talk about, a huge issue that's out there, that's going on, that's happening, that's going to cost you more money to buy a house, and it has nothing to do with the person selling the house, and it doesn't have anything to do with your mortgage people. It's not your lenders. It's not your banks. It is Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. The federal government is about to screw you again. That's really what it comes down to. And you know what?
Yeah.
This time we ain't going to take it. We ain't going to take it.
We're not gonna take it.
We're just not going to take it. It's a bunch of crap.
It is a bunch of
whole lot.
Yep.
I tell you.
Yep.
Yep. Let's do yep.
Yep. Not a fan.
So as I always love to do, to start the show off, you know it wouldn't be what it is if we didn't have the world's greatest mortgage banker, the all-knowing, the omnipotent.
It's a big word.
The crystal-loving
I
lady
am.
that she is.
I am.
Miss Laura STanfield from Wintrust Mortgage.
Hi.
Morning. Missed
Good
you.
morning.
Haven't seen you in a week.
I know, right?
I know.
Living in Kentucky. Was it warmer?
No, it's about 40.
Not much.
No.
Okay. Well, it's okay. Spring is coming soon.
Spring is
In the
coming.
housing market, it's already beginning. So
Yeah, that's true.
outside, it's not, but it will be.
I saw a post on Facebook. Someone was asking about how the market was doing, how their markets were doing, and several of us got on here in the Madison, and several of us got on there and went, the spring market hit a week ago.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I know I'm busy. I know that you're busy. We both would like to be busier.
Well, sure. I don't really like the word busy.
Yeah.
I just think it comes with a I'm too busy for you kind of thing, and that's not true.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, I got to tell you this. We got to talk about this a little bit. If you go on Zillow or Realtor.com or any of those crudmuckers to look for information, what you're going to see is it says that there are 37 homes for sale in Sun Prairie. Let me give you a big not true. There are 21 homes that it appears are for sale in Sun Prairie.
Appears?
And
Why appears?
Because of that,
Smoke and mirrors?
20 of them are new construction. Only one is an active listing that a real person lived in the house.
Only one?
Only one of the 21.
Did y'all hear that? Only one.
Right. Which makes this kind of crazy. The median price for those new construction homes out there is $581,950.
Okay, but don't let that scare you. That's just about what's on the market right now, which is not much.
Right.
So
and we're going to talk
don't
about
panic.
We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Now, I was doing some trends on this. People were asking me, well, how's the market? And I keep saying the market's fine. It's the market is the market.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be bad. It's just what it is.
It is what it is.
And so we are down a little bit. We're down 84% trend right now compared to last year. Yep.
Oof,
there have been
yeah.
8 sales compared to 17 last January, same time frame. But if you bought a house last year at this time frame, your price is up. Your equity would appear to be up almost 21%.
See?
I know.
And last year was a tough year because of interest rate increases.
Not in January, though.
Well, January was when it all started to shift.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You
but
said
it was a tough year, and so a lot of people said, no, I'm not going to buy because of rates and because it's tough to get an accepted offer. However, those that stayed in the market
Right.
are probably very glad they did.
Well, they should.
And why? Because appreciation continues.
Exactly.
You're going to pay more.
Exactly.
Get off the interest rate thing.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm telling you.
Preach.
I can't remember if we covered this at all at the year end. I want to look at quarterly numbers and let you know what's going on there. Charlie Andrews, good morning. Vicki Hellenbrand, hey, great to see you.
Vicki
Colette
Hellenbrand, hi.
I know. Colette Olson's on also. So how did we do for the quarter? If you listen to the news, it'll just give you indigestion or agita. Agita.
Is that a word?
Agita. Look it up.
I think you're making that up.
And yes, the fourth quarter was a lot weaker than we've anticipated. I mean, 73 homes were sold, down 47% from the third quarter, but at a value of $403,000. Now, how did that rate quarter after quarter after quarter? Wow, my printer really messed up. Somebody loves me.
Somebody's calling you.
It never fails. You know, either I'm on vacation or on the air, somebody's going to call me. You know, that's what it is. If I look at fourth quarter 2022-2021, our sales are down 49%. So yes, sales have decreased. The pricing though is up 10% over fourth quarter of 2021. So we're good. We're good. Where am I going with this? Why am I telling you all this crud, right? That is sometimes couldn't be considered crud. I'm telling you that there's still an opportunity out there. You're going to hear in a few minutes because we're going to talk about what Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are about to do to us, what the federal government is about to do to us that ain't a good thing, and I don't want you to take it. And we're going to ask you to do a couple of things. But right now, if you have a single family home, can you hear that?
I can. I don't know where that's coming from, but yes, can. We'll ignore that.
Wow, I can hear your voices.
Your voice is in your head. That's a whole nother show.
I know, right?
Keep going.
If you're thinking of selling your house, do not wait till spring. What you think spring is. The market is here right now. Now, why did I tell you that 20 out of 21 homes actively on the market right now are new construction? Because they're not there. There's maybe 10 houses that are new construction that are in the process of being completed. So right now, you would have the only house or the second house available to be purchased in the next 30 days. And that has a value. It has a huge value.
Yeah.
Because people are still buying homes. And we want you to get in on this. We want you to get in on this. You have a great opportunity. Yes, there's cold weather outside, and I just heard a rumor that they may move Jimmy the Groundhog inside next week.
Huh?
Well, I know that's sacrilege. You can't
That really
do that.
just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
The whole idea is to determine weather and
I know,
spring,
exactly.
and so yeah,
Just-
that needs to be outside.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, come on.
I know.
Whose idea is that?
Well.
Dress in layers. Have some hot chocolate.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, I mean it's yeah.
Yeah.
The things that government does, they're just crazy. But anyway, so you've got a great opportunity here. Do not wait because of cold weather or what you think is not the right time to go sell your house.
You're kind of like That's always the thing in Wisconsin, though.
Uh-huh.
It just always is. People hibernate in the wintertime. This has been a weird winter because
Yeah.
it's been like nice and cold and nice and cold. It's been very strange.
Mhm.
But the market really does depend on what's going on.
Sure.
How much snow's on the ground, how cold it is,
Mhm.
because I guess nobody wants to move during the winter.
Yeah, nobody wants to.
It's okay.
It's okay.
You can do it.
No,
Now.
gorilla movers will move you in the snow.
Yeah.
That's
Any
okay.
movers will
You can
move
do
you.
it.
And actually, you could probably get more. They probably have more availability right now,
They do.
right?
They do.
So
They're begging for business over there. I tell you.
yeah,
And they'll move a pool table,
they'll move anything.
Yeah.
A piano,
a piano. Yes, they
a
will.
grand piano,
Well, baby grand, not a grand though.
baby, not
A baby grand.
grand,
Just
a
a baby
baby grand. Okay, it's an oxymoron, isn't
I
it?
know.
A baby grand.
Yes, I know.
Anyway, for a lot of reasons, now is the time to sell and buy.
Now is the time to buy and sell.
There's lots of people, and that's what you're talking about, I assume.
Uh-huh.
The spring market hitting already. A gauge for that is how many people are coming into open houses, lined up to schedule showings for houses. And those numbers are up already.
They are. I mean, we're hearing it.
Yeah.
We've heard some folks say that they had 70 showings at one time.
There you go. So
70
that's why,
showings.
sellers, do you hear 70 at one open house? Think of all the buyers out there that are ready to go and they just have not been able to find the house, or maybe needed to take a pause because rates got up to 7.25 and they just needed to for whatever reason. But there's a lot of people out there wanting to buy, and they've been wanting to buy for the last several years.
Right.
This has been going on a long time. The
Exactly.
supply and demand issue that we've got. So if you're thinking about selling, I would do it now. Avoid the craziness, avoid the frenzy. And for buyers, what's coming up in this show, another reason to do it now if you can, before May. If you can't, then we'll give you some ideas about how to prepare for what's coming in May. But for more reasons than we're even getting into, now is the time to do it, for sure. Don't wait for spring.
You know what's terrible?
Turbo?
Terrible is when you are trying to log into like Google and you have that two-step verification crud.
Send you a text or an email.
Well,
or
I'm waiting
whatever.
for it and it hasn't done that yet. It's like, come on, give me a break.
Why are you
man.
multitasking?
I'm trying to.
Or what do you want to Google?
I have a thing to play. And
Oh, a video?
Yeah.
On what?
On
I didn't know this.
Inman's forecast
For rates?
for the industry.
Interesting.
That's what I said.
Well, according to Lawrence Yoon, he says
Yes. What
That-
did Lauren Humes say?
he's saying that rates might hit 5.5
Uh-huh.
by, well, spring, early summer, late spring, early summer,
Okay.
and there's a possibility we could see him hit 5.25 by the end of the year. Nobody really knows. Nobody truly has a crystal ball that works. But he did say that the 2 and 3% that we saw back in 2020
Gone.
is not something we should have seen, and something that we in our lifetimes will probably never see again.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, so don't wait thinking, I'm just going to wait till rates go back down. That's probably not going to happen. I think 5 is a good gauge. Like 5 is a best case. So see where your numbers stand. Always update your pre-approval or get pre-approved. It doesn't obligate you to doing anything, but it does give you a lot of information about what's possible for you.
You're really doing a great job of like stalling over there.
I'm not stalling. I'm
You're not?
giving good
Oh,
information.
here it comes. I might have just gotten that number. It's like, gosh, I tell you.
And then you can play a video.
Yeah, I can. You're right though. I mean, it's
I'm not right. Lawrence Yoon might be right.
no, you're always right.
Oh my!
Oh, you're
Wow!
always right.
Wow!
Well,
That's
I mean,
amazing.
I don't know what people are waiting for,
I don't know. The perfect scenario, which never exists.
and it's not happening.
No, it won't.
No.
But it was positive news coming out of Mr. Yoon that we'll see lower rates and we'll see the housing market, the sales data anyway, strengthen through 2024.
Exactly. Why can't I get this stuff? Why isn't it?
Because technology does not work when you want it to.
I know, it's just killing me.
It's just how it goes. You just roll with it.
Give me a second, peeps.
His prediction was that by the end of the first quarter of 2023, we're going to start to see more and more, which I think it's already starting. And then through 2023, we'll see strong numbers. And then I don't know if you can't go too much beyond the next 2 years. So he predicted through 2024, we'll see some really good numbers.
Yeah. Oh, almost dropped that. Okay, here you go, guys. I finally found it. This is from the National Real Estate Post. It's a little bit of mortgage. It's a little bit of real estate. But this is Brian Stevens, and he does a daily post, something I watch every day. And this is what he is taking on the predictions of what Inman. Inman is like the trade rag for real estate. They're always giving you information about things going on, mortgages, whatever. If it's real estate,
anything in the housing industry.
Correct. Yep. Now this guy, this post is pretty amazing because they can't. I'll say they're controversial at times. They're not afraid to go after different people and just to go against them. I guess that's probably a better way to say it. But I want you to hear this because I want you to hear this from someone other than Laura and I. And so check this out. Here we go.
So Inman came out with their top 10 predictions for the mortgage and real estate industry for the year 2023. Here's what they are and here's what we think. Number one.
There is no housing bubble. Mortgage rates rose steeply in 2022, which when coupled with the massive run-up of home prices has some suggesting that we are recreating the housing bubble of 2007, but that could not be further from the truth.
And I say hogwash. You're going to see housing in 2023 that's going to make 2008 look like a stroll through Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. It's going to be rough, guys, and it's going to go deep. They're wrong on this one.
2. Mortgage rates will drop. Mortgage rates started to skyrocket at the start of 2022 as the Federal Reserve announced its intent to address inflation. While the Fed doesn't control mortgage rates, it can influence them, which we saw with the 30-year rate rising from 3.2% in early 2022 to over 7% by October.
1, the Fed controls the rate. 2, we're going to see 5.5%, and that's where we're going to level off. Everyone's looking at that.
Number 3, don't expect inventory to grow significantly. Although inventory levels rose in 2022, they are still well below their long-term average. In 2023, I don't expect a significant increase in the number of homes for sale, as many homeowners do not want to lose their low mortgage rate. In fact, I estimate that 25 million to 30 million homeowners have mortgage rates around 3% or lower.
And potential sellers have an unrealistic opinion of what their houses are worth right now. So yeah, we're not going to see a whole bunch of inventory. They're right on this one.
4, no buyer's market, but a more balanced one. With supply levels expected to remain below normal, it's unlikely that we will see a buyer's market in 2023. A buyer's market is usually defined as having more than 6 months of available inventory, and the last time we reached that level was in 2012, when we were recovering from the housing bubble.
This market is about as balanced as Britney Spears these days.
5, sellers will have to become more realistic. We all know that home sellers have had the upper hand for several years, but those days are behind us. And though the market has slowed, there are still buyers out there. The difference now is that the higher mortgage rates and lower affordability are limiting how much buyers can pay for a home.
Case in point, what I said just a moment ago. Sellers believe that the equity that they currently have right now is money in the bank. In fact, it's not. They have an overvalued opinion of what their houses are worth right now, and we have to become more realistic.
6, workers return to work, sort of. The pandemic's impact on where many people could work was profound, as it allowed buyers to look further away from their workplaces into more affordable markets.
I mean, I kind of agree with this one. We have to Elon Musk this thing, which means you have to go back to work and actually communicate with other people in real time in real life. This whole thing of working from home, it's not a permanent solution.
7, new construction activity is unlikely to increase. Permits for new home construction are down by over 17% year over year, as are new home starts.
Yes, starts are going to go down because new home builders are treating their industry like a cartel, and they're keeping homes artificially high by not giving us enough inventory where people can live. This has to change. This is a fundamentally flawed process that's taking place right now in housing that if new home builders don't deal with, frankly, Congress needs to get involved.
Number 8, not all market markets are created equal. Markets where home price growth rose the fastest in recent years are expected to experience a disproportionate swing to the downside. For example, markets in an area that had an influx of remote workers who flocked to cheaper housing during the pandemic will likely see prices fall by a greater percentage than other parts of the country.
We know this from 2008 as the sand states. That would be Florida sand, California sand, Nevada sand, Arizona sand, New Mexico sand, and the one outlier would be Michigan. But the idea is these are communities where people get second homes, and the first thing you're going to let go is going to be your second home. So if you want to see what's going to happen with the rest of the country, simply look at these sand states, and yes, this is absolutely accurate.
9. Affordability will continue to be a major issue.
No doubt with this one. Absolutely no doubt whatsoever.
And finally, 10. Government will start to take housing more seriously. Over the past 2 years, the market has risen to such an extent that it has priced out millions of potential home buyers.
The average income to buy a house right now is $107,000. The average income for your family, not an individual, is $70,000. Meaning your average family is $37,000 short of being able to afford a house. This is a massive national catastrophe, and it has to be addressed. Will Congress do something about it? Well, I certainly hope that Inman's right, because they need to. This is not acceptable. With that said, my friends, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Wow, lots of stuff packed
I know,
in there.
right? Interesting.
Lots.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, the whole thing, first of all, about the inventory. The inventory, it's not going to be as drastic or as large as we've seen in past years. It's just not. And he hit it, the nail right on the head. It's because of those 3% mortgages. And people are happy about that, and so they're less likely to move around. And the problem is that they're going to miss a great opportunity. And the government stepping in to help with housing, forget about it. They'll give you money, but how does that? I don't see how that's going to benefit. I mean, it's like how do you get the government to make the builders build more houses? You got to give them money.
You do.
Tax breaks, incentives. That's how you get them. Guarantees, something.
Yeah.
But you're not going to twist their arm. Talked to a builder this morning, a friend of ours, a good friend, Jim Bellinger, and he would like to build a house right now, but he's a little scared about it.
Yeah.
He's seeing all these layoffs from Microsoft and Apple, and even in our business, Zillow, and all these Redfin, and people being laid off their
Mortgage
jobs.
lenders are
Mortgage
making
lenders.
huge cuts.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There will be a lot less mortgage lenders at the end of 2023.
Yeah.
Not saying that to be malicious or
No,
hurtful,
it's just a
reality.
natural flow of when things are,
Right. Same thing with
Interesting.
real estate agents. You're
Absolutely.
going to see less real estate agents. And
Look at all that impacts, home
Oh.
inspectors, insurance
Sure.
companies,
Right.
I mean, it goes on and on and on. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's going to be an interesting market out there. I mean, what can the government do? Step in to improve the housing in a way of available housing, affordable housing, workforce housing, housing for all. How are they going to do
Housing
that?
for all. Yeah, good luck. I don't know, $37,000 gap between what it takes to
Right.
be able to afford a house and what the average income is. Wow.
That's huge.
That's really huge.
That's huge. Just, you know,
Yeah, affordability.
We'll just
We
ha-
keep talking about it, but what's the answer?
we'll just have the government give away $37,000.
Where's that going to come from?
Who cares? They don't care. They'll get it from
Print more
China.
money?
They'll get it from China.
It's funny, but not funny. I was listening to a local commercial lender this morning talk about several commercial projects that have been put on hold for
Oh,
the
yeah.
same reasons Jim was talking about.
Yeah.
There's too much uncertainty, interest rates flopping all over the place.
Right.
Usually rates on those kinds of loans are variable,
Yep.
so they're worried. So
Yeah.
they're putting it on hold.
We have to see what's going to happen. I mean, it's we always tell you that mortgage rates are calculated off bonds, but bonds are influenced by what the federal government does, and so it does have the increase in the lending rate has affected bond purchases. We also know the federal government started selling the bonds that they had purchased over the last few years, and that's affected. They really hurt you.
That's what turned rates around a year ago.
The bond sell-off.
Yes, yes. that's what started the whole thing, and that's what drove interest rates.
Yeah.
Started, I should say,
Yeah.
driving interest rates up.
But I hope you caught the end of what I said there. This is what's hurting you.
Yeah.
It's hurting you as the buyer. The goods and services. Go out there and work your butt off every day, and now you can't buy the house that you wanted because they're trying to slow the economy down.
So this is where it takes more educated voters, right? So
Right.
as we enter into election cycles, who are your people who are going to advocate for housing,
Right.
affordable housing?
Exactly.
What are their thoughts? What are their plans? What are they going to do?
Sure.
It is a national crisis. It's
Yeah.
not just here, just about everywhere in our country.
And you know, we really have to be careful when we use the term affordable housing. Because what do you mean by that? Is that affordable housing for you?
Mhm.
For me? Is it for the person that has that lower income, 60% of the average median
Or
income?
80% of county median, or what does that mean to you?
Exactly.
It means something different to everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
And I hate to say this, but were you a buyer that was going to buy $1 million home, and now you're a buyer that's going to buy an $800,000 home? Or are you a buyer that wanted to buy a $250,000 home that now can only buy a
Ouch.
$200,000 home?
Or you can't buy it all.
Right, exactly.
Maybe.
And then what happens? They go to an apartment
Yeah.
or rental property.
And then there's an inflated number of, the inflated, what is it, like the rental percentage
Yes.
is really high,
Yeah.
which to developers says, well, we need to build more apartment buildings.
Right.
But we've talked about this, is it because people want to buy and they can't? So they're renting?
Mm-hmm.
So why are we putting all the money into apartment complexes instead of condos?
Right.
There's a way to do it,
Right.
but we need people who are there that can incentivize developers, builders.
One of the things I want you to remember from what he said was, watch the sand states.
Yeah, that was interesting.
And it's true. Well, I like to watch California, because usually what happens in California starts to trickle its way
Yeah.
towards us. The Midwest is the last to get hit.
Except Michigan. If it's a sand state.
What's a sand state?
It has
Oh, by
sand.
Grand Rapids and all
Vacation,
that?
second homes.
What is that? Something Haven, Grand Haven.
Well, they're known for their dunes.
Sand
Their
dunes.
sand dunes.
I've actually taken a tray and gone down the sand dunes.
Like Christmas vacation.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did.
And snow in Wisconsin,
Yeah.
sand in Michigan.
Oh, they
Or-
got snow over there too.
Yeah, they do.
Grand Haven gets a lot of snow because it comes off the lake.
Yeah. Lake effect.
Yeah, I'm going over there in end of February.
Why?
I'm going with Dave Lutke and meet up with Dwayne Sprecher, and we're going to go to
Oh, that's
watch
right.
a
He's over
Wisconsin
there.
Michigan State basketball.
Oh, that'll
game.
be fun. A guys' weekend. Good for you guys.
Why the hell I'm driving 5.5 hours to go to a basketball game?
Because why not? You
Yeah,
get to
why?
hang with your buddies.
I know.
It's worth it.
So the thing about this market right now is, number one, let's go back to this. We're giving you a lot of information. Right now is the time to sell your home. Get it on the market. Please, 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 please don't wait until March. Don't wait till April, May. I mean, it's going to cost you money.
It is.
And just picture us as the stockbroker that's sitting across from you and saying, now's the time to dump this stock.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's topped out. You can't get any more for it.
Yeah.
And you gotta remember, when you have one of the only ones on the market, you can get a premium price for that. Nice price for that.
There is demand.
When you
For
have
almost every
competition,
price range,
Right.
there's demand.
and then what happens with competition?
Price goes up.
Price goes down. When you have competition and I have a choice of which one I want to buy, then price goes down.
I'm thinking competition and buyers competing.
Oh yeah,
for
that'll
it.
drive it up.
That drives it
But
up.
if I have all of a sudden I go from one home to 100 homes for sale.
Oh, for sure. Then
Yeah.
the price will go down.
Correct.
Yes.
So that's the supply side of this.
Right.
So it's an interesting market, and if you listen to us, I think you'll make money. I think you'll also save money, and we're about to talk about that. But I want to hit this about the housing and the inventory, and then we'll switch over to this. Is that okay? Okay.
Whatever you want to do.
So
Yeah.
here's what's going on in our market, and I know I have several city council members that listen to the show, maybe not live, but sometimes they listen afterwards. And being a member of the housing committee, this really bothers me because when I look and I have how many houses for sale? 21 houses for sale. Actually, I only have 10 in there, and they can't find one. They're either, what are their choices? Rent in Sun Prairie, or they move to Bristol, Windsor, Cottage Grove, Deerfield. I mean, never Madison. Who wants to live in Madison?
Lots of people want to live in Madison.
Too many rules, too many stupid rules.
Madison's on how many top 10 lists for being amazing?
That's because Sun Prairie is connected side by side
I don't
with
think
it.
that's it, but
They
I mean, I
misspelled
love
it.
Sun Prairie, but I don't think that's it.
Oh,
so.
it is.
Anyway. What's interesting, though, I don't know if we talked about it last month or last show, I don't know, but it's psychology. So people who feel like I want to live in Sun Prairie, but I can't afford it. Maybe the taxes are a little higher.
Sure.
There's just not enough on the market. And then they're like, why don't you consider Portage or Purdyville or Lodi or DeForest? I mean, DeForest is close enough, but it's been interesting. We were working with a buyer that said that it's a half an hour for me to get to work. Well, so what?
Yeah.
So is the west side of Madison.
Sure.
Just because it's a different city doesn't mean it's that much further. Like, really
Right.
think about it.
Actually,
Yeah, go ahead.
and we presented a great idea for that 30-minute drive because there was an income property that the tenant down below would pay the mortgage for the buyer on this. And, oh, no, I can't do that. I can't do that.
What's with your Tim Taylor
No,
impression?
oh, God, no.
Well, I know. So it was wear and tear on the car and gas,
Well,
but you're living mortgage free. So
mortgage free, and you're making money as
Mhm.
they pay your mortgage, and then you get the appreciation. Oh my
Right.
gosh! And so, I mean, those are the ideas that Laura and I like to put in front of people.
Probably lower taxes too
Sure.
if you're in a different county. So that saves you money too.
And that was Portage, so that was real low.
Yeah. So
Very
consider all your options. Like,
Absolutely.
don't stay. People just need more open minds, I
Right.
think.
But here's the point I'm going to make to you. Now, the number of real estate agents is shrinking. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Well, renewals, we should have numbers now, right?
Yeah. Hopefully, I don't have the numbers yet. I
Well,
don't
they
think
might not be available
They may
quite
not tell
yet.
us the truth anyway.
Spin the numbers.
Yeah, they want to spin the numbers.
Let's get Ruth Hackney on here.
Oh my gosh, that might be scary. She might fire me
Right.
from the association. Are those numbers true?
I don't think she can fire you.
Fake news. Come
She
on.
can't fire you.
So here's what I want to say about this. So you've got a change of real estate agents out there, and now is the time when they're going to earn their keep. Now let me tell you what I'm talking about. So you're a buyer, okay? You want to buy a house. Just give me an area. I'll find that house for you. There are a lot of agents that have no idea what I just said. They don't even understand it. But some of the old timers that are real, I'm not an old timer. God, did I just age myself?
The seasoned agent.
The seasoned agents know how to go make the
find
business.
the
Yes.
properties.
We'll find it.
Yeah.
We will find it.
How? How do you do that?
Well, there's a lot of different ways. First of all, if I know somebody who wants to live in, let's say, over off Liberty Square, over by me and that, I will knock doors, do mailings, reach out to people, call people in that area, and just say to them, I have a buyer that would like to live in the area. Who do you know that might be thinking of selling their house soon? It's that simple.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, oh my God, if the solar people can go door to door, I can go door to door.
That is the thing.
That was the most annoying thing yesterday. And
Somebody came to your door?
Oh, I just wanted to smack this guy.
Aww.
I said, I'm not interested. By the way, I called your people to interview you on my real estate show, and you refused.
Same people?
Same people.
Oh.
Echo
Well,
Light.
they missed an opportunity.
Eco Light
then.
or whatever. Yeah. And I said, it's just not cost effective.
Okay, but you were nice, right? Because if you've ever door knocked,
Yeah.
you know how hard that is. So,
Yeah, he wouldn't take no.
well, some can be annoying.
So I
but
pulled out the 357. and
you
showed it
did
to him.
not. I've been hearing a lot of people talk about this, though, on whatever,
Oh, yeah.
Facebook next door. Like, what's with these solar people knocking on my door? And they're relentless. I
Yeah.
keep hearing that.
Yeah. Hey, your neighbor Rob is just contracted with us to buy a complete solar system. I said, he did really? I'll have to call him and talk him out of it. Well, I mean, it's just outrageous. It's not free, and you got to think about what happens after you buy it. We're getting off a different subject.
Oh yeah, that's a whole nother. Yeah,
I
I
know.
can share a story. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
So you got to change your roof. Who takes the panels off?
It's
Who
not as simple
reinstalled?
as you think.
It's not.
No.
It's
Yeah,
not. And then if you sell your house and you financed it, or leased it, or whatever they call it,
Yeah.
that has to be paid.
There's all kinds of things behind the scenes that you just don't know about. So if
Exactly.
you're thinking about buying a home with solar panels,
Right.
you need to dig into that
Exactly. You
and
need to
find
call
out how it's
me.
going to impact you.
Call it. You need
I'll
to
bet
call
you
it.
a lot of agents don't even know anything about solar
I
panels.
think we got is that Adam at Prairie Utilities? I'll get him on the show. We'll talk about that.
That's a good idea.
Adam Schlichter? I think it's,
Sure.
I think so.
I
I'd
don't
be
know.
interested to talk about.
We'll just call him Adam.
But let's go back and let's talk about finish our conversation about this, because you need an agent that'll go find a house. So you're gonna say, well, I can sell my house. Where am I going to get a house? You say there's nothing on the market. Do you like how I said that?
I don't know who that is.
I don't know. I just figured that's
Okay.
like, oh.
Okay.
We'll find the house. There's ways to
There's
do
ways,
it.
yes.
There's ways to do it,
Yeah.
and there's ways contractually to protect everybody in it. So
I
if
mean,
you-
think about it logically. You're not
Uh-huh.
the first person by a long shot
Right.
who has wanted to sell in an interesting market.
Right.
And where do I go? So how did they do it?
Sure.
There's ways.
Yeah.
Ask.
And if you're meeting with somebody to sell your house and it's not me, take the information I've given you today and say to them, hey, I'm just curious, how many houses are on the market? And if they don't give you 21, you know they're wrong. They're going to give you 37, by the way. Or they're
Yeah.
going to use school district, or they're going to use zip code. But if you want city of Sun Prairie, it's got to be city of Sun Prairie.
Well, and a lot of people don't even know the difference, so they might not even know what they want.
That's true.
What they want, what they need. Is it about the school system?
Right.
Is it about taxes?
Right.
Is it about commute time?
Sure.
What are you looking for?
But
What
if
do
you're
you need?
selling,
Yeah,
you need more accurate numbers on there.
you do.
Right.
You also need to know how the agent markets your property.
Sure.
If it's a listing agent,
Yeah.
if it's a buyer's agent, how do you find me my home?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
do you do for me?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you heard us today, we're talking about the numbers, and I said there's actually only 10 houses that you can buy in the next 30 days. Ask them that.
hmm
If they say, well, yeah, there's 20 houses on the market, right, or 21 houses on the market, say, how many can I move into next week? And see what they say.
Are they real homes that exist, or
Right.
do I have to wait a while?
Exactly.
Do I have to have a construction loan?
Exactly.
Or can I mean, there's a lot of things
Sure.
you need to know.
And then say, well, you say there's a low inventory. How am I going to find a house? I want to move over. I want to be in Liberty Square. Now, how are you going
I
to
want to
find
be
me a
close to
house?
Buck and Honey's. I really like it there.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Right.
Darn, I was there last night.
I'm not surprised.
Had a dinner. Went to see Hadestown. Still trying to figure
I
that
don't know
play
what
out.
that is.
It's a play.
Okay.
It's going on at the Overture right now. It's awesome.
Okay.
But
Is it about HE double hockey sticks?
it's about
Hades?
hell
Okay.
and Hades himself. It's a love story.
Himself. It's a love story.
It's a love story. It is a love story.
Okay.
You'll see.
I don't know anything about it.
I
Take
know,
your
I
word for
can
it.
tell.
Yeah,
So you
it's
just have to
obvious.
do your homework. A good agent, listing agent, will also be able to guide you in buying a house. So I'm going to take a deep breath. So now I want to tell you about how the federal government's trying to screw us again. And I'm sorry, that's the way I have to describe this, because there are two entities that are federally funded. One is called Freddie Mac, and the other one is called Fannie Mae. They are the two organizations that buy your mortgages from the the organization that you have gone through. Say, if you went through Wintrust, it might be insured or guaranteed through Freddie Mac or Fannie Mae, correct?
Well, a lot of people get a servicing transfer letter after, or a loan transfer letter, I should say,
Uh-huh.
after you close on your home. And
Uh-huh.
sometimes people are like, well, wait a minute, I thought you said that it was local servicing. It is. But Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac backs your loan. They're the investor behind your loan. Actually, a group of investors. But that's what that means. It doesn't mean
Sure.
your loan was sold necessarily. I guess technically
It
it
is
does.
sold.
Your servicing is probably what people are mostly thinking about,
Right.
talking about.
So let's describe this to people, because I would say a majority of folks out there have no idea how it works. So I come to you to get a mortgage, and we close on the property. You were the one that is servicing my loan right now, and then Wintrust, some of the time, not all the time, they put it on the what?
Secondary market.
Secondary market, and that's insured by or guaranteed by Freddie or Fannie, correct?
Mm-hmm. It's a long-term fixed rate usually, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's why it may end up with XYZ company.
Well, that's if your servicing gets transferred or sold.
Right.
That doesn't always happen. It depends
Right.
on the lender.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Simplify.
lead you through this. Yeah, I want to simplify because honestly,
You're doing a good job.
And-
I'm just listening. Go
Sabrina
ahead.
Fryer's watching. Good to
Hey,
see you,
Sabrina.
Sabrina. She's sitting here going, "Yep, this is exactly
She
what's
can
going on."
chime in. Yeah.
Yep.
We're listening, Sabrina, right? He's doing a good job.
And so, but most people don't understand what Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae are all about.
No.
And we can go even deeper into this, but just know that they're two entities that really have a great deal of control on the mortgage and the mortgage rate that you have. And with that said, here's what I'm going to read. Beginning in May, new loan level pricing adjustments will be put into place on conventional loans, Fannie and Freddie, based on credit score and loan to value. In addition, there will also be pricing adjustments if your debt to income ratio is above 40%. This will have an impact on qualification for many borrowers. Loan level pricing adjustments are passed on to borrowers through higher fees or built into the loans through higher rates. Now, I'm going to shut up and let you talk about this and explain what I just said. Because what it said, what I heard it say is that it's going to ask for to get the best rate possible. I've got to have a super high FICO score.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. So this stuff never used to be a thing. For people who do watch the show, they've heard this a few times. It used to be that people could say, okay, what's the rate on a 30-year fix today? And we could say it, and it was the rate. Didn't matter. Then since the 2008-9 housing bubble that people think we're going back into again, which we're not, but a lot of changes came out of that. This is one of them in mortgage world. So it was really just risk assessment, which is what insurance is all about. Mortgages are all about risk assessment. So Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac came out with loan level price adjustments, LLPAs, and that's where these credit score and loan to value and debt ratio and property type things came into play.
Why are they doing this?
I think they're trying to, well, then when they did that, I thought they were trying to overcome losses that they sustained in the housing crash. Anyway, that's my thought, but I have to be careful about what I say, I guess.
You do?
Well, I don't know. Maybe Fannie and Freddie are listening today, right? What are you talking about? Why else would they do it? They want to make more
Because
money.
they want to make money.
It's greed. I feel like it's
Period.
just pure greed. So it used to be, I remember when like 680 used to be considered a good credit score. Then when they came in and did this, it was 740. So, I mean, that's a pretty huge
That's
jump.
a huge jump.
60-point jump.
But now,
Yeah, 780.
780.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I
780.
think according to Lawrence Yoon, I'd have to review my notes, but I think it came up with him. The average credit score is like 760, 770, something
Yeah.
like that in Wisconsin. And we're actually high, nationally speaking.
Sure.
Our average credit score is higher than the national, but not that far off.
Yeah.
Either way, it was not 780.
Right.
So, when these changes came into play, we could no longer say 30-year fixed rate is X today. Then it was, well, it depends on your situation. And I think some people are like, well, why can't you tell me? I feel like you're being evasive. No, I'm not. Like, it really does depend. Are you buying a single family? Are you buying a condo?
Right.
What's your credit score? All this stuff.
Sure.
So we say to people, we need a full application. I can't tell you. I cannot quote you an actual rate. If I don't know your situation, I can give you an estimate.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know. I mean, for real low credit scores, it's been a thing since that change, that it could be 1% higher because your risk is higher, right? Because your score is lower. So, is there, Sabrina?
Yeah, Sabrina's saying, I believe the new LLPA sheet that you're talking about has hits with DTI, which is always a moving piece.
It
What's
is, she's
DTI?
right. So your debt to income ratio.
That was the next thing you were going to talk about.
Well, there's so much to talk about in here. Honestly, we don't have enough time. But
We have 10 minutes.
okay, so your credit score is even more important than it's ever been. We'll get to DTI. But credit score, yeah, like look at where you're at. But here's the thing. A lot of people monitor on different sources. You can get credit scores from a zillion different sources now. But that's a confusing thing in and of itself because it depends on the scoring model that's used to give you the number. When a mortgage lender pulls it for the purpose of a pre-approval or approval, we could get a very different number. So all you can really do is make sure that you're monitoring your credit information and taking advice about how to maximize your credit score. Those of us who have been doing this for a long time, Sabrina's one of them, we can help you with how to maximize your credit score. That's going to be key. Property type, you can't do anything about that. It is what it is. That's always been a thing. Debt ratio, so your debt to income ratio is calculated by your monthly gross income, your before tax income, basically. So generally speaking, 45% of that could be spent on your new house payment, on if you have a car, a credit card, student loans, anything that might hit a credit report.
Okay.
That's what factors into that number.
Okay.
So 45% has been the general rule of thumb, but we can go higher than that maybe. Like if your credit is strong, if you've got some money in assets, savings, things like that, then we can go higher than that maybe. On a conventional, not usually higher than 49%, but a little higher.
Okay.
So now they're saying if your debt ratio is over 40% of your gross income, you're going to get hit with a fee, either a higher rate or a fee, which is what this price adjustment thing is all about.
That's just absolutely ridiculous.
Well, it is. So here's one thing that plays into it. Like Sabrina probably does it the same way. When it comes to income, people might have varying sources of income. We try to keep things simple for borrowers, try to eliminate paperwork and documentation and all this stuff. Because any income we use to qualify you, we have to back it up. We have to prove it, document it, right? So I try to keep things simple for people, and if we don't need the income, we don't go there. As long as we have enough to qualify you for the loan and for the best possible interest rate, we're good. Now I think what it's going to do is it's going to change the way lenders do their jobs. It's going to change the way underwriters underwrite files. It's going to require more documentation because lenders who care and want you to get the lowest possible rate are going to be looking for, all right, let's add in this income then that we probably wouldn't have before. How do we document it? How do we need to get you under 40%?
Yeah.
So we can get you the best possible rate.
Sabrina came on and said the LLPA is helping lower FICO and less money buyers. I don't understand that. People with more down are taking more risk because that causes more sense. Damn government. I don't.
Doesn't count. That's
I think that was sarcasm. I think she's being sarcastic.
She's being sarcastic. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, I truly just do believe it's greed and it's a way to maybe slow things down. It's definitely a way for them to bring in more income.
I'm going to say it's another way of hidden taxation.
It is.
They're taxing they're taxing people. I was going to say taxing the wealthy, but it's not just the wealthy. Unless you consider somebody that can buy a house wealthy, which I don't. It's taxation. It's hidden taxation.
Well, and look at what we just talked about. It's already tough for people to get accepted offers.
Absolutely.
People are already dealing with higher interest rates.
Sure.
They're dealing with, what do I need to offer over asking price if we do get into another feeding frenzy in the spring?
Right.
And now they're going to have to deal with all this extra stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why are we piling on when it's already a tough market? I don't understand it, other than pure and simple. It's greed. So you and I were talking about that earlier. When I first heard about it, I'm like, wow, really? Really? Why do they have license and authority to do whatever the heck they want they do?
They got elected, so there you have it.
So how do we combat this? What do we do about it?
So let me respond to Sabrina came up with another screen. Her being sarcastic. We love her. You don't say. So people with more money will have higher rate hits than someone with less money and lower FICO is what that meant. Or at least that is how I read it. Do you
I don't know that I read it the same way, no.
Okay.
Because it's really all about your back end ratio, your debt to income ratio.
Okay.
So that's where people who have, I don't see where there's an advantage of people making more money.
I don't either.
No. But I mean, all this is new too. I think it just came out. Was it Monday or last Friday? I'm trying to remember. It just came out that they're going to do this, and I don't know if we mentioned that. Maybe you did. It's going to hit in May. May 1st. Right. So, I think the timing is good.
Right. I want to know where National Association of Realtors is. What are they doing about this? I want to know what the Wisconsin
Mortgage
Realtors
Bankers Association.
Correct. I want to know. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Where is the lobbying against this?
Yeah.
And because we need that in the way of white papers. White paper is a document that is created that you can send to your legislator to say, what the hell? Or WTF. I mean, honest to goodness. I mean, Ron Johnson, Tammy Baldwin, Mark Pocan. There's 3 right there from our area that should know about this. And
That's
they're not
what I
going to be
was
happy.
getting at when I'm saying be an educated voter,
Right.
ask the right questions,
Right.
find out where your candidates stand on these things that matter to you,
Right.
and vote appropriately.
But we need to get you the information so that you can speak intelligently to them.
Yeah.
And even our state folks, Melissa Radcliffe will be one of the first ones I reach out to.
Yeah.
Melissa Agard will be the second one because they are our people.
Yep.
To let them know what's about to happen nationally, because it will affect us locally.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's almost like the right now the administration, the government is trying to take home ownership away from people.
It feels like that.
Doesn't it?
They're not advocating for home ownership,
No.
and they're not doing. I mean, yeah. It's about inflation though. It's not necessarily about the housing market. We're
Right.
trying to make things more affordable. I don't
Yeah.
feel like that's where it's going.
No.
It's just about controlling inflation.
I don't even agree with that. I think they're over-hitting housing because it has a huge impact on everybody else. So they're really attacking the housing on this. I don't like the behind-the-scenes taxation of these fees and changes.
It's BS.
It is.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, there's things you
Let's
can.
say it's racism.
Oh, stop
It is. Think about your different minorities. Do they have FICO scores? Where are their FICO scores?
Right.
And I'm not picking any demographic in it.
There is something to that, though.
Oh man, we could do it. It'd be Mortgage Lives Matter. No,
Don't go there. Oh my God, don't go there.
we can have riots.
We
can have riots in the streets. It'd be fun.
No.
We can get little wristbands that's got MLM or something like that on it.
MLM is multi-level marketing.
Oh, yeah,
People
it is.
would get confused.
Yeah,
Let's
it
not
is.
do that. But, I mean, it's like anything. So we can't control what's going on right now. We maybe can if we get on our,
Right.
maybe
Right.
there's something we can do, but that's not going to be a short-term fix.
No, and in May. I mean, they could turn this off in May. It doesn't have to start in May. In fact, they're talking about it rolls out in May.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be like, bam, here it is. Well, but it could.
Well, it's going to feel like that,
Right.
but that's why we talk about it now.
Sure.
So, and I've always preached credit scores, always.
Oh.
There's always ways of improving your credit. You got to get on it now. So that's why I said now might be good timing to release this. Maybe that's the one thing that they're trying to help you out with. Okay, hey people, it's come in May.
Right.
So if there's things you can do about your credit, you want to start making the changes now.
Yep.
Because it's about what hits your credit report. The updates have to hit your credit report so that your score increases. It's not like, well, I'll pay it off in April and then I'm going to buy in May. No, it doesn't work like that. You got to do it now.
Right.
So you want to educate yourself as much as possible about how to maximize your credit score.
And you're really good at that, by the way.
Well, I know it hits people with rates and
Well, yeah.
fees and all this stuff and affordability. It's also your insurance rates.
Yeah.
There's so many reasons why having a good credit score is super important.
Oh my gosh, how many? I can't count how many clients that you and I've worked with together. You've done exactly that. You said, pay this off, pay that off, take care of this, and then we'll go do this.
Yeah.
This is where we could be.
Yeah. And there are some things you have to pay attention to. Like I had a a guy the other day arguing with me about, I know everything there is to know about credit. I've been around the block a few times. I bought a house. It's been a while, but blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, good Lord, okay, why am I talking? So he goes ahead and closes out his oldest trade line, and he opens up a new one, and he wants to know why his credit score dropped. And I wanted to say, well, you know everything about credit, so why don't you tell me why that happened?
Right.
But, like, those are the kinds of things you don't want to do, because it can drop your score.
But you know that there's a phrase that goes along with that.
What?
Duh. I told you.
Sometimes
tell me
it's
I
like,
told you so.
fine, be a know-it-all. It's okay.
It is okay.
I don't need to be right. You can be right.
No, I'm not right all the time. Just
No, the
usually when
guy
I'm not
is.
sleeping.
You're funny.
Usually when I'm sleeping.
The other thing I was thinking about
Yeah.
is, and Lawrence, you mentioned this too, but I had heard
Economist for the
before.
National Association of Realtors.
Yes. I'm surprised
Chief
you didn't
economist.
do that impression, but anyway, that's all. Yeah.
Lawrence, are you? I am forecasting rates around 5.5%.
He does a pretty good job with that, actually.
He's a good guy. I like him. Okay.
No, yeah, I really like listening to him. But out of the pandemic, it is true that people have more disposable income, because maybe a lot of it has to do with not commuting to work, not spending money on lunches, whatever the deal is. Household income is higher.
Yeah.
So hopefully what this means for you is that you can save more for down payment.
Sure.
That equity thing, the down payment, the
Uh-huh.
loan to value, and maybe you've got some extra money that you can pay off some stuff that's keeping your score down. So don't do anything though until you talk to somebody who knows really how to advise you.
Driving to Kentucky, I was listening to a bunch of stuff. I heard that our savings levels are the highest
Right.
they've ever been
That's
because
what
of
I
the
mean.
money that was given to them. They kept it.
Well, that's good. So when the government was handing out stimulus money,
Right.
maybe people popped it in the bank, and maybe that could be an advantage to you now with all these changes going on. So
That's true. And
ask before you do anything.
And speaking of changes, we're going to have to get off and let Mark Gonwa take over.
All right.
Nice show. Hey, folks, we really hope you found this information, I don't know, fulfilling, I guess. Or it's an alert, to be honest with you. First of all,
Yeah.
that costs are going up on something, and you need to react before it happens.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, how do you handle these little attacks, these little hidden taxations that are occurring? And we're going to get you that. We got to talk to some people, and we'll lay that out for you. But to know that we've got your back, we're watching this stuff, and we want to bring you the information that's out there. You've got choices when you buy or sell a house, and you know you've got two good ones right here sitting in the studio that have your back and are going to be your advocates for whatever you do. We answer questions. There's no charge. So reach out to us, talk to us. If you have an idea for a show, we'd love to hear it, and we'll bring it your way. So, Sun Prairie, we'll catch you next Wednesday right back here on the radio. Bye, Sun Prairie.
Bye all.
Bye all.
More than Sun Prairie listens to us.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
We're international.
Bye world.
Bye, world.
Right?
Drop my ring.
Dropped your brain? What'd you say?
My ring.
Oh, your ring. That would be better than your brain.
I play with my ring. It's because
I heard it, I just didn't know what it was.
it's.
You need to gain some weight?
I'm taking weight off, which is hilarious.
That's
to me.
good.
I know.
You could do, I was talking to the boys about, like, you don't see really